Hello, my name is Melissa Daniels, and this is Strabismus to Stereopsis. And on this channel, we talk about all the things with strabismus, which is when your eyes aren't pointed in the same direction. Some people call it a lazy eye or a squint, whatever you want to call it. Basically, your brain isn't using both eyes, and I want to help you learn how to use both eyes so that you can get better alignment and better function in your life. In this video, I am going to give you some different tips for things you can do this fall that will help your vision. And this is going to include some exercises and different things that are just going to help overall. You don't necessarily have to be in vision therapy, but some of them are some types of eye exercises that can help. Before we jump into that, I want to make sure you know you can go over to learn.strabismussolutions.com. Over there, you can check out one of the courses that I offer. You can sign up for a Zoom call with me, take the free quiz, download the Eating for Stereopsis guide, or join our Strabismus support community. We would love to have you over there. It's a lot of fun, and we are learning and growing together there. All right, on to the 5 things you can do this fall that are fall themed to help your vision. My favorite one is to find a great big tree. Hopefully you have one in your yard. And this is for when the leaves kind of start falling and you've got kind of a blustery day. This doesn't always happen for me every year, but I always make it a goal because it is so cool. You can just kind of lay under the tree or maybe off to the side so that when the wind blows the leaves off, you are laying on the ground on your back and you can kind of watch them. So if the wind's blowing this way, you want to be on that side of the tree, right? And so you're going to be laying under the tree or to the side and watching those leaves in the air. So there's a couple different things you can do here. One, you can pick one single leaf and can you watch it move as it's flying through the air, right? So that's going to help with fixation. Your eyes are fixed on this moving target, and with a pursuit, you're trying to get your eyes to move together and follow that leaf through the air. Now, while you're doing that, I want you to think about how can I see all the other leaves that are also around the sky, right? My eyes are focused, my central vision is focused on this leaf, but there's also leaves here and everywhere, right? And that can kind of help you see space. This is helping expand your peripheral vision. When you think of peripheral vision, a lot of people think it's just what's happening to the sides, and actually, peripheral vision, if I'm looking at this pen, peripheral vision is every single other part of this world besides what I'm making clear right now, this expo, right? So from here to here, that's actually peripheral because I'm not focusing my eyes in here, right? I'm focusing my eyes at the pen. And so my focusing system and my vergence, like the way my eyes are turned, it's all focused here at the pen. So from here to here, that's peripheral. Up here is peripheral. Back here is peripheral. To the sides, up and down, like all of that is my peripheral. And that's where the magic happens for strabismus. A lot of times we kind of skip over the space and go straight to the next object. And that's something when you're trying to learn to use your eyes together, that is one of the biggest keys is seeing that space. So back to the tree, if you have all these leaves moving through the space, you can start seeing it as like a form moving through the space, right? Like instead of just like these individual things from here to there, see the space between the leaves. So that's kind of a fun one, something to play with. You might feel a little silly, but I've found that when I go lay underneath a tree and lay on a blanket and just relax, I end up with a lot of people around me, like mostly my little people, my children. And it's just kind of nice to stop and enjoy that, like, it's so beautiful, the colors and just everything is kind of magical about it. You're slowing down, you're paying attention to what you can see. Just a great, fun thing to do in the fall. So that is like my number one thing because there's not very many times a year that you can do that, right? And so fall is a really fun one because those leaves are nice and slow and so we can actually watch them. Whereas like rain is so fast, it's tough. Okay, next is to give your eyes a little sun bath. Now be careful, and I want to, check with your doctor before doing any of these things. Okay, there's my disclaimer. I am not saying to look directly at the sun, but you can point your face in the direction of the sun, kind of, right? Like you're not looking at the sun. Then you close your eyes and you can like feel the sun, and you can even like almost see it through your eyelids. Like you can feel that heat, and then you just move your eyes back and forth like this, and you can kind of feel them following that light from the sun. So I don't like to go directly in the sunlight because I'm worried about, burning my retinas, but I like to go, and this helps a lot with light sensitivity. And the reason this is a great fall activity is because the sun's a little further away. It's not so hot outside that you're just like sweating bullets, right? But the sun is still there and you can still feel that, and it just feels so good to feel that sun on your face. So it's a sun bath, okay? So you're closing, you're looking, pointing your head. Let's see if I can't quite get close enough to the sun, but you're pointing your head towards the sun, and you're just closing your eyes, moving your eyes back and forth, feeling your eyes. They're going to kind of follow that light, and definitely great exercise. Okay. The next one, it is harvest season, and I know in different parts of the world, it's not going to be the same, but in the United States where I live, it is harvest season. So there's like fresh peaches and apples and pears and strawberries and raspberries and vegetables and, little like farmers markets and gardens popping up everywhere, right? Take advantage and just fuel your body with all those nutritious foods, especially when you get them so fresh. That is so good for not just your body and your general health, but is going to affect your vision and your eyes directly. If you want to learn more about like the link between food and vision, I do have a free download called Eating for Stereopsis where you can learn a little bit more about like which ones to eat. But the basic idea is eat really delicious, like fresh fruits and vegetables, not necessarily delicious because kale is so good for your eyes and it's kind of gaggy to me. But eating those fresh foods can really affect your vision in a positive way. So it's not necessarily an exercise, but take advantage of the abundance of fruits and vegetables at this time of year. Okay, the next one is if and when you go for a hike looking at the fall colors, and everyone likes to go look at the trees and the fall colors, or you're going through a corn maze, right? I feel like people are active. It's not quite as hot outside. So when you take your walk, if you do, or just take one just for this purpose alone, I want you to look for motion parallax. And so what that means is, let's say you're hiking up a trail and you've got trees on both sides, and I call this running trees. So as you're walking forward, those trees and your side vision and that peripheral are going to look like they're going past you, right? It's like they're moving past you. So the trees are running away. That's what I always think of. And so as you're taking this walk, you're enjoying the colors and all that, and your vision is still focused forwards, right? So you make sure you don't trip. But in your peripheral, be aware of the motion parallax, that motion of those trees going past you. Hikes are a great way to just work on slowing down and expanding that peripheral vision and trying to see more of this world, right? The last exercise to give a try this fall is taking an eye exercise into a tree. And I like to do this in the fall because you've still got some leaves on the tree, but it's not so thick. And so you can kind of almost see through the tree as well. And so there's a little bit more space inside the tree. And my favorite, I have this vectogram. This is one I got when I was in vision therapy. I ordered it from like the vision therapy company through my optometrist. Best $200 I ever spent. I have used this thing for probably hundreds of hours, and it is an amazing tool. So if you're in vision therapy, like just invest in one. They use them constantly at the vision therapy office, and it's like the cost of like one appointment. You just skip one appointment and buy this instead. Okay. Anyway, so I take this into a tree. Oh boy, we've got some lighting adjustments happening. It is a very beautiful, bright fall day here in Idaho. So exciting. So pretend this is the branch of the tree, and I've talked about this in other videos before, but I think it's worth revisiting. So I go up to the tree and I put this up to the branch. And this is an exercise that you would use with like polarized glasses. Okay. And what I do is, as you slide this apart, like so, this ring actually appears to be floating further back, and it's kind of like around here for me. Okay. Right there. So if you're in a tree and there's like kind of some leaves, it kind of gives you something to compare against. Sometimes it's hard to see those illusions for people with strabismus. And so using a tree to kind of like open up that space and see a little further into the tree is like, it's magical. I love it. And so, you know, it's easier to do this when the trees aren't so full of branches that you can't even like see around this. You know, if there's leaves everywhere, then it doesn't feel like that ring can move back. So anyways, that's one that's really fun when there's some leaves on the tree, but not tons. Now, if you do not have, I don't think I've ever met someone who has one of these besides myself. So most people do not have one. You can get them also like with red and green. I believe Amazon has some. They're called vectograms. I can put a link in the description. I don't like the red and green ones as well. I mean, it's the same concept. They float and all the good things. I kind of find red and green a little annoying to my eyes. Like, as fun as it is, and it's a great, if that's the option, that's the option, and that's fantastic. Totally go for it. And they're a lot cheaper. It's going to be more like $30 instead of $200, but I like the polarized versions better. The problem is there's only 4 printers, I think, in the world that you can get a polarized vectogram from. That's a little tricky. Anyways, just ask your optometrist. Sometimes they even have them at the office that they can like lend to you if that's a good thing for you to be working on. So of course, with every single one of these things, check with your optometrist or your ophthalmologist. Make sure it is a good idea for you. But the idea is to go out there and have fun with your vision and incorporate your vision into some of these activities that you're doing in daily life. And as you do that, you're going to practice using your vision and your peripheral and all these things in the real world, because we can do VR, we can do all these activities, but once we start integrating that into our real life, that's when we're going to start seeing those functional changes and see our vision actually change. So challenge you to do those 5 different activities this fall. Let me know how it goes in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.